As the film begins, we see a boat floating in the middle of the open sea. A man is living alone on that boat. He has been surviving there for a very long time, not by choice, but because of circumstances. His name is Mariner. He has turned the boat into his home. He is forced to live there because all the glaciers in the world have melted. The sea level has risen so much that no land remains visible anywhere on Earth. Everything has been submerged underwater. Now, the surviving people wander across the oceans in boats and ships. However, they still believe that somewhere in the farthest part of the world, a small piece of land still exists. They hope to settle there one day and live peacefully. Later, Mariner dives into the water in search of food and tries to catch fish. After searching for a long time, he fails to find anything and returns to his boat. Soon, he notices another boat nearby and starts talking to its owner. Mariner explains that according to the rules of the sea, strangers should help each other whenever they meet. He says they can exchange useful items and support one another, but the other man refuses. He says, "No, I do not want to exchange anything with you, and I do not need your help." After saying this, the man quickly starts sailing away. The real reason is that he had secretly stolen malt from Mariner's boat. He suspects Mariner is calling him over as an excuse to confront him. To avoid trouble, he decides to leave immediately. At the same time, a group of seafarers arrives in the area. As the man moves farther away, Mariner realizes that his malt has been stolen. Furious, he speeds up his boat and chases after him. Mariner crashes into the man's boat and destroys it before leaving the area. Soon after, the seafarers reach the stranded man. They attack him and eventually kill him. After this, Mariner arrives at a floating tribe in the sea. He has come there to trade some of his belongings. However, the tribe refuses to buy his items because they consider them useless. Then Mariner shows them a large bottle filled with mud. The tribe's chief becomes interested and invites him inside. Since the entire world is covered in water, mud has become extremely valuable. People can grow crops in it, so its demand is very high. The tribe discusses a price with Mariner and offers him 4 coins. But Mariner knows how precious the mud is, so he demands 8 coins instead. The tribe agrees to his price and gives him the money. After receiving the coins, Mariner goes to a nearby shop to buy supplies. However, there is barely anything available there except a few basic items. Mariner buys some fresh water and tomato plants. Fresh water is extremely rare because seawater cannot be consumed. In exchange for these supplies, he gives half of his money to the shop owner. His name was Helen. When Mariner was leaving that place, members of the tribe approached him with a girl. They told him that if he agreed to marry her, he could take anything he wanted from their resources. The tribe wanted this marriage because Mariner was strong and fearless. In contrast, the people of the tribe were cowards. They believed that if Mariner had a child, that child would also inherit his bravery. But Mariner clearly refused the proposal and prepared to leave. This made the tribe think that Mariner was not a human being, but a water spirit. They believed this because he had been living alone on his boat for so long, and even when offered marriage, he rejected it. In their view, no normal human would refuse such an opportunity. Because of this suspicion, they stopped him from leaving and captured him. One of the tribe members then noticed a strange mark behind Mariner's ear. It was the same kind of mark that water spirits were believed to have. Seeing this, he became frightened and pushed Mariner into the water. Mariner was pulled out again and locked inside a cage. The tribe planned to drown him and kill him. They used the bodies of dead people as fertilizer, and they intended to do the same with Mariner. But before they could carry out their plan, sea raiders attacked the tribe. Panic spread everywhere as people started running in all directions. These were not ordinary raiders. They were powerful and extremely dangerous, equipped with advanced and expensive weapons. They even had flying ships, something unheard of in that time. They continuously fired on the tribe, causing massive destruction. The entire area was filled with smoke and chaos, and the tribe was nearly wiped out. During the attack, the shop owner saw Mariner struggling in the water and went to help him. She told him, "I can save you, but you must take me with you on your boat." Mariner agreed. Helen then broke the cage and freed him. After that, Mariner took Helen and her daughter onto his boat. Soon it is revealed that Helen's daughter has a tattoo on her waist. That tattoo is actually a map leading to an island. It shows a place where land still exists and where people can finally settle. At this point, another truth is revealed. Mariner is not fully human. He is actually a water spirit, which is why he can survive underwater. Mariner then tells Helen that either she or her daughter must die. The reason is that they have very little drinking water left. If one of them does not die, all 3 of them will eventually die of thirst. Hearing this, Helen becomes extremely worried. However, she manages to convince Mariner to spare both her and her daughter. She insists that she wants to live. Meanwhile, the leader of the raiders is shown. He is a one-eyed man with a violent temper and great power. He orders his men to capture the child at any cost, who had a map on his stomach. After seeing it, he distributes a large number of cigarettes to his companions and tells them to enjoy themselves. He also joins them and starts having fun. Then an old man arrives and warns him that the ship's fuel will run out within a few days. Hearing this, the leader becomes furious. It is revealed that he is not only blind in one eye, but also mentally unstable. He always acts on impulse without thinking about the consequences. In anger, he tries to light a cigarette cigarette and throw the match into the oil tanker. If that had happened, the entire ship would have been destroyed. A man quickly grabs the matchstick and extinguishes it, saving the ship from disaster. After that, the leader orders his army to capture the girl with the tattoo. Meanwhile, the mariner is taking Helen and her daughter on his boat. Suddenly, the leader's forces arrive and attack them using airplanes. To defend them, the mariner goes below the deck to collect weapons. Seeing this, Helen assumes that he has abandoned them and escaped. In panic, she picks up a weapon and starts attacking the enemy ships herself. One of her shots hits the enemy rope instead of destroying the ship, causing it to get tangled. As a result, the raiders' ship begins circling around their boat. The mariner quickly returns and cuts the rope, freeing their boat from danger. The enemy ship then drifts away. However, Helen loses one of the weapons during the chaos. The mariner becomes angry with her and her daughter for this mistake. As punishment, he cuts their hair. After this, they continue their journey. While sailing, they spot another ship in the water. Helen suggests going there to find food and supplies. Although the mariner is reluctant, he agrees and approaches the ship. There, he discovers that the owner is actually a merchant. The merchant tries to trade Helen in exchange for goods, but he has nothing valuable to offer the mariner. Instead, he shows him a piece of paper. In this era, paper is extremely rare and highly valuable. Seeing this, the mariner tells Helen to spend some time with the merchant in exchange for the paper. When Helen goes to him, the merchant takes her to the lower deck. After a short time, the mariner returns and tells the merchant that his time is up. However, only a few minutes have passed, and the merchant becomes furious. He attacks the mariner with a knife, but since the mariner is much stronger, he takes the knife and kills him. The mariner realizes that Helen and her daughter are extremely hungry, so he dives into the sea and catches a large fish. They cook it and eat until they are full. As time passes, the bond between the mariner and Helen grows stronger. They slowly become close friends. The mariner even teaches Helen's daughter how to swim. Now, instead of hostility, they begin to trust and support each other. Now one day, the mariner notices another boat following behind his own. He cannot understand whose ship it is, but when Helen sees it, she recognizes it immediately as the seafarer's vessel. She informs the mariner that they have returned, and they are trying to take her daughter because of the map hidden on her body, which shows a large landmass or island. The mariner refuses to believe it. He says it is impossible because the entire world has already been destroyed, so no land can exist anywhere. Helen insists that it is true. She explains that when she first found the girl, she had mud in her hand, and mud can only come from land, not the sea. Then a shocking truth is revealed. The girl is not Helen's daughter. Helen had actually found her in the water while she was drowning, and she saved her life. Hearing this, the mariner becomes extremely angry. He locks Helen inside a submarine and takes her deep underwater. A submarine is a sealed underwater vessel used to travel into the depths of the ocean. Inside the deep sea, Helen discovers massive buildings buried underwater. These were once part of a world that was destroyed and submerged. When they return to the surface, they realize that the seafarers have come very close. They board the boat and capture them. The seafarers demand to know where the girl is, but Helen and the mariner honestly say they do not know. Hearing this, the seafarers become furious and order their execution. Meanwhile, the girl was hiding beneath the same boat. After hearing that both Helen and the mariner are going to be killed, she comes out. The seafarers immediately capture her. Even though they have found her, they still decide to carry out the execution orders. Before that, they take Helen into the water. Gunfire is shot at her, but she somehow manages to survive. Helen tells them she is human and cannot breathe underwater. Hearing this, one of the seafarers shares his breath with her, revealing that she is actually a mermaid. After some time, they return to the surface and see that their ship has been destroyed. With no other option, they are forced to return to the wreckage. They sit on the broken remains and talk. During this moment, the seafarer finds a piece of paper floating in the water. It is the same paper that was once given in exchange for Helen. The paper contains a map of land. Upon seeing it, they realize that a part of the world still exists where mud and life are possible. But the key to reaching that place is only with the girl. That is, the map is hidden on her stomach as a tattoo. Because of this, the seafarer becomes determined to find the girl at any cost. However, their ship is no longer in a condition to travel properly. After some time, a man arrives in an airplane and begins calling out to Helen. Helen immediately recognizes him as a member of her tribe. He quickly acts with intelligence and brings Helen and the mariner onto his boat. After that, he sets out to locate the raiders. Following a long search, the seafarer finally finds the raiders' ship. He secretly boards it and confronts the leader, demanding that the girl be handed over, but the leader refuses to give her up. At that moment, the mariner plants a bomb inside the oil tanker. A massive explosion follows, destroying a large part of the ship and killing many raiders. The mariner then begins searching for the girl again, but the leader escapes with her on an airplane and tries to flee. Before they can get away, the mariner attacks and manages to stop their escape. However, his own ship gets heavily damaged in the process. Meanwhile, Helen and the man arrive at the scene. With their help, the mariner and the girl are pulled to safety. They then witness another huge explosion destroying the remaining raider ship. Still, the raider leader survives. In a final attempt, he shoots at the mariner. The bullet misses the mariner, but in the chaos, the girl falls into danger. The mariner immediately sends 3 boats to rescue her, but before they can reach her, he quickly uses a rope and saves her himself at the last moment. As a result, the 3 boats collide with each other and are completely destroyed, killing the remaining raiders, including the leader. After this, Helen's companion uses the map from the girl's stomach to locate the hidden land. They finally reach the place where land still exists. Everyone is overjoyed to see it. They even find a small hut there. When they enter, they discover 2 flags inside. These belong to the girl's parents, as this hut was once their home. They also find tools used for creating the tattoo map, which confirms that the girl's parents had marked the map on her body to guide her safely. After this, the mariner leaves them there and returns to the sea with his boat. He has grown attached to the ocean and chooses to remain there. Helen and the girl watch as he sails away into the water.